right, once again, a year later, promises made, promises kept for President Trump. Joining us now, Laura Ingraham, host of the fabulous Ingraham Angle on Fox News. Laura, thank you for doing this. I mean, you know, it's funny, he's done most, or he certainly started on or achieved most of what he set out to do. The trouble is pollsters don't know how to poll it. And I'm going to make the case. I think he's very popular, okay? I don't care what the pollsters say. Because he's done what he set out to do, people appreciate that, and he's very popular, and the pollsters be damned. Anyway, that's my one-year anniversary take. What you think?
I think they're mad, Larry, and you've keyed in on it. They're mad not because Trump hasn't stuck to basically what he set out to do from the very beginning, but precisely because he's done what he said he was going to do, both in reorienting our trade agreements, locking down the border, beginning to ramp up deportations, going after primarily the worst of the worst out there on the streets, clamping down on crime, and also reinvigorating America's sense of patriotism. The left is deeply anti-American. We see that every day in the streets of Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland, other cities where there's a vicious, violent insurrectionist-like resistance to basic law and order. So he's fleshed all of that out, and we see it a lot more clearly now than we did a year ago. And the left's kind of, they're reeling. They're reeling because Trump is doing what Trump said he was going to do. Has he been able to accomplish everything? Of course not. He has a Federal Reserve chairman who was stubborn on interest rates. He has allies, frankly, that aren't always acting like allies. But he's done an enormous amount, especially given where the United States was under 4 years of an absentee president.
You know, of course, the economy is roaring. The economy is roaring right now. And more, I mean, the one big, beautiful bill worked out. The border, immigration, as you say, he's deporting the worst of the worst. He's changing the culture, Laura. He's changing the culture in ways that he promised to change the culture. You know, religion is back, God is back. Working is a good thing for everybody. Working folks, no matter what race or color you might be. These are things the left hates, and he's doing it, and he won't relent.
Well, and I think, you know, when you saw the big Indiana win last night in the national championship, that love of the game, teamwork, God, quarterback is devoutly religious, loves his mother, loves his father. And you wonder why do people like him so much? Why do people love that kid so much? He's kind of the he's kind of the counter of the radical screaming protester in the street in Minneapolis. He represents the best of America, from an immigrant family, yet a family that puts its pride in its work, in its ethic, and its love for each other. And I think getting back to that love for each other as fellow citizens, as Americans, is what I think most people out there really want. And the left's just consumed by its own fury that Trump's reinvigorating the sense of, I think, of what it means to be an American. And they don't like that.
No, I couldn't agree more. It's an interesting point, the football game yesterday. Actually, both teams, but certainly the Indiana team. It's a good point. You know, sometimes he could go up and do a better selling job, maybe a little too much shock and awe, but that's the way he is, Laura. You know what I mean? That's the way he is. And it's transformational. Listen, he will break something and then he will fix it. And my point, you know, you got Davos now, right? Okay? So the people in Davos who are nitpicking him to death about Greenland and whatever, it's deeper than Greenland, if they keep their yaps shut, he will make their country better also, just like he's made our country better.
You know what I think when I watch their caterwauling about America needing Greenland or not need, when I hear that, I think, when is the last time we ever heard a European leader criticize President Xi, human rights, gobbling up territory, threatening Taiwan, building islands in the South China Sea, everything we know that they do with their secret police forces all over the world? Have they ever grandstanded against Xi? Ever? No. They prefer a dictatorship like China's to the Republican Party under populist leadership. That's a fact. We all know it. Trump, again, has exposed what they're really all about. And God bless. I hope it works for them, but I think we know where it ends up. A country in servitude under the CCP.
Well, you know, it's funny. He's doing the best he can. I mean, I would say, naively maybe, I would say if you let him put something together, whatever he has in mind with Greenland, okay, it's not going to be China and Russia. He will make NATO, wait for it, he will make NATO stronger, Laura. If NATO would let him, he will make NATO stronger. In fact, everything he's doing to elbow Russia and China out of the whole Western Hemisphere will make NATO stronger, will make freedom stronger, will make free people stronger. But they won't let him.
Well, I think one of the challenges here is that the administration has to do a better job of explaining why Greenland matters. Maybe Rubio goes to the Hill. Maybe we have 3 cabinet officials fan out across the country, or the president gives a major address. He doesn't like to necessarily do that, major address to the nation. But if it's imperative, as your banner says, if it's imperative to our national security, the American people are willing to hear that and understand it. I think they'd do well if they did that. They're doing that better, I think, on ICE and the role of ICE and why sanctuary cities cause the chaos and regular America just allows law enforcement to do what it wants. So it's doing a better job on that, but it's got to win both debates, deportation and Greenland. And that means you need a real clear PR push on why both are essential. And I think they do that. They win that debate hand down. Both debates hands down.
I think so. Add in the economy, too. Add in a little selling on the economy wouldn't hurt either. Laura Ingraham, you are the best, Laura Ingraham. Thank you very much. You can catch Laura hosting the Ingraham Angle weeknights, every night, 7 p.m. Eastern on fabulous Fox News. Coming up here on Kudlow, once again, the case for a Greenland deal. You know, we'll talk about it with Mark Thiessen and Doug Holtz-Eakin when Kudlow returns. This is very doable. Don't panic in the stock market either. And remember, folks, Kudlow available as a podcast every weekday right after the show. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on FoxBusinessPodcast.com. Be right back.